Hello and welcome to Rauta. This time we have something rather exceptional, exotic to say the least. This band is from Vietnam, it's called Kaali. Now, with other languages it might be a really funny or meaningful name and all that stuff, but in Finnish it means cabbage. The literal piece of vegetable that should be on your table, on your plate and all that stuff. Which means it's kind of a hilarious from Finnish perspective. But as the saying goes, you don't really judge the book by its cover, nor should you do with the name in question. Because there is no physical product of this given one, this was kind of a collaboration deal with the band. I decided to do it with digital format only, and here we have it called Echoes of Decay. Now this is a EP release with 3 songs and kind of an old-fashioned art with its cover, which in my opinion looks rather nicely, nice. But the question is, why on earth it looks like a westerner when it is a band coming from all the way from Vietnam? Now, I don't get to answer that question, but it raises some eyebrows, possibly. Nudity aside and the cover being painting and all, this one is indeed only 3 songs with rather short and sweet kind of a release. Out since June 2nd, so this is very, very fresh from the oven. And here on the band's Bandcamp side, you will only see a couple of releases, so this is relatively new and not that experienced band. What makes it curious, however, is that this style, this genre of the band is rather kind of a hard to crack mix or combination of things. That is, the band calls here to themselves blackened hardcore. And when you take a look at these tags here, which is very, very often giving you a little bit more indication of what's going on the Bandcamp side. I mean, it's experimental metal, it's metalcore, alternative metal, black metal, blackened hardcore, etc. Now, this should guide you a little bit more, like where this band is going to, where they're coming from, and all that stuff. But yeah, I guess blackened hardcore kind of defines this as well, but let's be honest about it. You could really just say it's kind of a modern metalcore or kind of a deathcore-ish thing, and there you are with the whole idea. That's pretty much of it. Now, throughout the 3 songs, there's actually quite a bit of difference in this cocktail, which means it starts with rather exotic and somewhat Asian, or at least very Far Eastern like intro. I'm not exactly sure where these pieces are coming from, but it sounds interesting and pretty promising. Once the intro is over, you kind of land on something very, very Western take of music. And that might be explained by the background of these guys. They are not all born and bred with the traditional Vietnamese ways, as you might think. But I don't I don't judge nor get to judge where these people are coming from, what kind of background they have. That goes beyond the scope of this video. All I'm saying that if you're expecting some kind of a traditional Vietnamese take on music and all that stuff, you're gonna be bound for disappointment. You're more likely have to adjust yourself with the kind of a Asian or Vietnamese take on Lorna Shore. That's the closest I could get when I was thinking about certain names. Now, obviously, this is quite a new band, and obviously they don't have the experience, they don't have the big label, backing them up with the music and all, but if you're really listening to these tracks, you will figure out that this is a very, very kind of American take on music. Whether you're talking about individual riffs, flirting with metalcore, deathcore, whatever, you will definitely get like the whole American or very Western-like feeling with that. Also, you will clearly figure out that these guys have not done sloppily their homework. That is, this EP sounds very, very heavy, pro-made and all. So I could say productional values top-notch. When it comes to vocals, it's kind of hard to say whether it's actually good or bad or something in between. Well, let's not call it bad. That would be outright lying, but saying it's outright good would be a little bit, maybe possibly misleading. Because the thing here is, while they are skillful, they're clearly talented when it comes to more cleaner aspects of singing or those kind of a growler parts, these puzzle pieces don't always match one another. What I'm trying to say here is you already have to have the kind of acquired taste for you to like this kind of music. Because if you're just a random wandering possible potential fan here, you might be like, okay, I like these and that parts. No, not those parts. It's more like the kind of a combination of a hybrid genre things where you are just like figuring out like, okay, this isn't exactly extreme metal. Now it goes too much on the metalcore side and all that stuff. So it's kind of like a weird salad. You're gonna figure out some of the pieces and you're gonna leave them on the plate. That's the feeling I'm getting from this one. Now I get it. It's obviously a big part of whole metalcore, deathcore kind of things that you kind of combine and do a little bit of crossover, similar to nowadays cars. They're not, just sedans anymore, nor just, the kind of a 4x4, cross-country cars, but a kind of a combination. Driving one of myself, I know exactly what this is meaning. When you combine that to the modern thing, what you're automatically thinking is like SUV, those sport utility vehicles. So not exactly doing cross-country here with the metal. I mean, extreme metal and all, going to the boundaries like rural things and just abandoning modern, life cycle of the city life and all that stuff. But also when you're flirting with the more clean vocals, it's almost like nowadays MTV kind of a music. You're doing the kind of a metalcore parts, and then you're also trying to appeal to the audience, which is definitely more on the extreme metal sides, be it black metal-ish, death metal-ish, or whatever. And for some people it definitely works. I mean, see the audience liking Lorna Shore. But then again, their skill, their production values and all that stuff is kind of a whole different level. However, if you are into that kind of stuff, Kaali might have something to offer you. I mean, they're already on the path to success, I'm guessing. But this kind of style is very, very delicate. And that means in essence, unless you really do some killer tracks and you are able to maintain the quality, not only in production but also live performance, you are just kind of bound to fail and fall between those big names there, because I guess a lot of people are nowadays trying to do exactly what Lorna Shore and the other big bands are nowadays doing. So it's a very, very competitive genre, and it's, I guess, hard to, to be separated from the chaff. I mean, stand out from the grey mass and all. But at least these guys have the potential, not only if they had more focus with the songwriting, more killer material, and not just so much spread around the table with that weird looking salad. I mean, they could really be nailing it. But at least take a look, take a listen if you like these kind of genres to begin with. If not, now at least you know. Links are provided in the description box, so go check it out if you think this is right up your alley. Thanks for watching the review. Looking forward to comments. Bye bye.